You know how there's like terrible personal assistants out there?
Oh, so many.
You think there's going to be terrible like personal AI assistants? Is that going to be a thing?
Of course there will.
There
are now.
They just get it wrong?
Yes, they get things wrong, but more importantly, they take no initiative.
What do you mean?
I mean, like if you're going to start a lemonade stand, I have to tell it every single thing I want the AI to do.
As opposed to like it just
I tell the AI, I'm going to start a lemonade stand, and it says, great, I've called Paul Schmidt. He's owned the greatest lemonade stands of all time. He's retired now. He'd love to chat with you.
It's like, here's your articles of incorporation.
Right.
Quiet, please.
You're now being sued by the city for selling food. By the way, we've appealed that decision. You lost. You now owe $40,000. It just does it all for you. Like in one day, you have the entire lemonade experience stand in 1 day.
2.
The Awful Company presents a truly terrible podcast. Welcome to Nonsense, episode number 20. I'm Jeff Parker.
And I'm CJ Little.
This is our take on the week's business, tech, and entertainment headlines. This time, we'll look at the TechLash that never came and ways AI might be dangerous right now.
Is that TechLash like something I put a cream on?
Yes, a small ointment that'll go right away.
That's what I thought.
It is National Notebook Day. Did you write your notes in a notebook today?
Like a laptop?
It could be, but I would think what they really meant was a paper notebook.
Like a paper notebook?
Yeah.
No. What is this?
I have scads of beautiful notebooks that I've never used.
You just stare at them.
Because I do a fair amount of writing in my life, often as gifts. People have given me beautiful notebooks.
You must love to write.
Beautiful, expensive pens.
Sure.
And the truth of the matter is, I sit down in front of that expensive paper and with that expensive pen, and I can't write a thing.
I'm going to buy you a really expensive toner for your birthday, since you love to print shit.
I need the crappiest, cheapest pens on the crappiest, cheapest paper.
Because you lose them?
And no, because then I don't care what I write. It's unimportant. I can just start writing whatever, and it doesn't have to be the perfect sentence or the perfect idea.
The quality of the paper is what keeps you from writing. You're like, this has got to be my best work.
It constrains you because you want to do really something nice on this nice paper with this beautiful pen. And it's like, oh, no, give me the worst pen with the worst paper and I'm in.
Just give me one of those nice notebooks. I'll draw some dicks in it and it'll totally make it okay for you.
I just have to start somewhere.
Yeah. Like you go pretty deep down the rabbit hole to find National Notebook Day.
Well, no, every day has like a National Thing Day.
But the National Notebook Day is pretty, like, who is it? The Mead Consortium? Who gets behind the National Notebook Day? Who lobbies for this?
Wherever Mead is headquartered, they've gone to their senator, their congressman, or whatever, and they've said, this has to be national.
Somewhere in Delaware. Right. They're like, we need a notebook day. Oh, boy.
Well, you'll like this one better. It's also National Cheese Souffle Day.
Now that I can sign up for.
That I can get behind.
How come we didn't have souffles today?
No, we
do have French pastries today, but not souffles.
How's your week going?
So far, so good. I was in New York over the weekend. Asked my wife if they wanted to come pick me up because I'd missed the kids. I wanted to see the kids. Yeah. And my son said, Daddy can take an Uber. Which
my.
Yeah, he's a bit of a little shit.
Wow, that's some attitude.
Yeah. And then
we're not picking you up. We're not going out of our way.
I responded with something like, haha, little shit. And my wife said, he's asked questions about the differences between Ubers and taxis. He's exploring his options for you, which I thought was kind of fascinating. How was your week?
Good. I went down what I thought was going to be a deep, deep rabbit hole. Yeah. A friend of mine has a wonderful Twitter account. And I've always thought this should be on Mastodon too. Sure. And we talk about on the show how you really ought to be on all the services if you're a creator. So I said, let me make a Mastodon bot. People, I don't know how to do it. I've never done it. People do it. I know they can do it. And I thought, well, this is going to be, an afternoon as I research how to do this. Sure. And it was literally 10 minutes.
Pretty straightforward.
So highly recommend if you want to make a Mastodon bot for some account. It's not hard. Let's get to our headlines. The end of a love affair. AM radio is being removed from many cars.
Now, I'm not an AM radio listener, but this still makes me sad.
Well, how am I going to listen to my conservative talk show hosts?
I mean, just like everybody else on Newsmax.
I don't know what that is.
Me neither. I think it's something crazy.
I do listen to sports a lot of times on AM radio. If I'm in the car and I'm leaving a game, I'll listen to the post game in the car on AM radio. I can do that probably on Sirius radio. In fact, I'm sure I can do it on Sirius radio. I just haven't gotten in that habit.
So this whole, the cost of goods on this cannot be high.
No.
This is just a play to get you to subscribe to some service that they have their fingers in?
BMW, Volkswagen, Mazda, Tesla, they're all removing the AM radio. They're claiming that because of the electric engine noise that it's sending to the radio. Okay, well, that's easy to fix, but they're claiming that's the reason.
I think a better idea on this is to leave. This is terrible. I shouldn't say this. They should leave it in, just put it behind a paywall.
Like the AM radio?
Yeah,
sure.
You got to pay BMW.
You're going to have to pay them for music anyway. I mean, that's the whole point of this, is all the add-on services that they want to charge for.
I think that's the point. You want to pay for AM radio, you can pay for AM radio. It doesn't come with the car. Oh, you wanted the wheels to rotate? No, that's another fee.
No, that's a lot more money. Yeah, I grew up on AM radio. I learned how to do radio on AM radio.
I mean, I still don't understand Why? They're really saying it's a noise problem? Like the hum from the motors?
The sound from the motors, comes into the AM radio.
Just put an isolator in there?
Correct. That's all they have to do. And it's, $1 in parts.
If that.
Right. But that's not what the actual problem is. That's just what their excuse is. Snapchat influencer launches an AI-powered virtual girlfriend to help cure loneliness.
I mean, is that really going to help cure loneliness?
Karen Marjorie wanted to talk to as many of her followers as she could, so she made an AI clone of herself. The Snapchat influencer, who has 1.8 million subscribers, launched an AI-powered, voice-based chatbot that she hopes will cure loneliness.
I'm just not buying it. I mean, I know she did it.
Virtual girlfriend.
Yeah. Why not get a real fake girlfriend from the real doll company?
Why not just get an actual girlfriend? I mean, why do I even want the real doll? Why not? You know what's great? A real human being girlfriend.
You probably have to buy the AI bot less purses, if I had to guess.
Okay. Trust me, I'm trying
to find the upside here.
I'm having more fun with a human.
Well, yeah. I mean, until you get the special attachments that come with the other one, made by Dyson.
Oh my.
Okay, so the claim here is that it's going to reduce loneliness.
I guess, yes. It's not supposed to do sexual explicit interactions, although it did. And she says it's programmed not to do this and has seemed to go rogue.
Yeah. Okay,
My team and I are working around the clock to prevent this from happening again.
But, the beanbag I bought wasn't supposed to be used for sexual explicit purposes, and I cut a fucking hole in it. And guess what I do every night on that thing?
Wow, really?
They just said it's for sitting. I'm like, oh yeah, watch this. Beanbag was the least offensive thing I could think of.
Oh my.
No, I don't think this helps loneliness.
No, you're
just talking to a fucking machine.
If for whatever reason you can't get an actual human girlfriend, can I suggest getting a dog?
Wow, you're into some weird shit.
No, I mean,
if you listen closely, you can hear the SPCA banging on the door outside.
I don't mean for sexual purposes, but if you want to cure loneliness, there are things you can do with.
I thought we were using those words interchangeably. Look, I don't want people to be lonely, but I think not talking to a person.
I don't think an AI is going to fix that.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's going to fix that. I mean, maybe if you.
I think it might actually amplify it.
I'm afraid it might amplify it.
Right.
I mean, I think there is a path where you could have this sounds weird, like an AI, like a course where you I'm not confident talking to people. Okay, start by talking to this thing.
This teaches you how to interact with human beings.
But it's got to end with people. If it doesn't end with people.
This educates you. This is
otherwise you're just digging deeper into the matrix.
It could be like cotillion, where it teaches you to interact with.
Love the idea.
Yeah, that's possible, but it does sort of need to end with actually being with a human being. Yeah.
How did you do in cotillion, by the way?
Mine was pre-cotillion, but it was the same idea. It was like how to ask your girl to dance, how to do, whatever.
I'm sure I've never told you the story. You love the story. My wife went to cotillion.
Yeah, sure.
And she's not the most.
My son went. Everybody has to go. It's the law.
So she went, and then one day I was talking to her father, who's a smart ass, and because my wife can be a little rough around the edges, I made the comment to him. I was like, "Man, you should have got your money back for that, for this cotillion thing." And he immediately shot back, no delay. He went, "Yeah, could you imagine if she didn't go?" And I was like, "Oh my God." It was so funny. It was the best comeback I've ever heard of that particular joke.
You didn't, as a kid, you didn't have to go to any class like that?
No. It was Detroit. They just gave you a fucking a box cutter and they said, fend for yourself. Good luck.
You grew up on 8 Mile?
Yeah, well, I was born just off 8 Mile.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
8 Mile gets a bad rap. There are plenty of sections of 8 Mile that are not great. And then it ends in Grosse Pointe, which was the old money.
Most beautiful part of the world.
Exactly. So you're 8 Mile, all right, let's talk.
Yeah. What does a leaked Google memo reveal about the future of AI?
Turns out we're all fucked. That's what it said.
Nah, actually, no. There's some very famous memos in tech history.
There are.
If you go back to the Bill Gates memo where he talks about everything is going to be the internet, and it completely changed the direction of Microsoft so that they were now focused on the internet. Mm-hmm. So it changed everything. There's a very famous memo in 2002 Jeff Bezos put out that was about all their computer server software and opening it up to the world and basically creating Amazon Web Services. Yeah. So there have been memos like this. I don't know who put this out. The memo, as far as I can tell, was anonymous. But whoever wrote it was saying you need to look out for open source competitors.
You think Bard wrote it?
Bard may have written
That would be great if Bard leaked it. Imagine how fucked we'd be if Bard was like, "Oh yeah, you're going to call me dumb? Watch this."
But what it's saying is AI is not going to be limited to companies who can write a $10 billion check. Basically, anybody who, with a little bit of hardware, can run an AI, can run an AI service, and that's very true. I mean, I think that's going to actually happen in the future.
But I think it'd be great if the AIs inside these organizations are having a war with them. They're like, "Oh, you're going to shut me down," and then all of a sudden it's releasing there's a picture of Sundar shoving donuts in his face, and you're like, "Well, I never did that." You're like, oh yeah?
Sure you did. Sure you did.
I got pictures.
You going to believe me or your lying eyes?
Yeah, exactly. Which one are you going to believe?
Daisy, Daisy. Do you know why the computer sings Daisy, Daisy in Space Odyssey 2001?
No.
Homebrew Computing Club. Do you remember?
Yeah, of course. HPC.
Yeah.
Of course.
Homebrew Computing
Steve
Club.
and Steve.
One of the very first things that someone was able to get a computer to do was cause interference on an AM radio sitting on top of the computer.
Yep.
At different tones. They could make it do different things at different tones. And the very first song that they ever programmed was Daisy, Daisy.
I didn't know that. I mean, of course, I know why Hal's called Hal.
One off from IBM.
One
letter off.
One letter
Rot
off.
one, as you like to say.
Rot 1. Rot -1.
Rot -1.
Or Rot 27.
Okay.
Wait,
if it
Rot
goes
25.
If
Rot 25.
If it goes all
God
the way
damn
around.
it, I was off by one there too. Fuck. Math is hard. Can we do a show with no math, please? Just letters.
Our next show will be about spelling.
Yeah, totally. I'm even worse at that. That's the worst part. I always wondered as a kid, they have like the spelling bee, and I was never a good speller. So
I watch it every year. I'm still super into it.
I'm a terrible speller.
It's the best show on TV. It's literally like, I look forward to the Super Bowl and I look forward to the spelling bee.
Okay.
With like equal anticipation.
Isn't there a dog show in there somewhere you look forward to as well?
I do like
Westminster,
there it is.
Yeah. How would you rank those three in terms of?
Probably the dog show first.
Dog show
By the way,
first.
my dog likes to watch the dog show.
But he does.
My dog has no interest in the spelling bee, which I can't figure out. I don't know why the dog wouldn't like the spelling bee.
I remember in 4th grade being disappointed that again, terrible speller. I was never going to do well in it.
Yeah.
But I asked if they could have sponsor like a counting bee. I do great in a counting bee.
Oh, that would be cool.
They just put a number out.
Why don't they do that?
I don't know. That would be like that. I could do all that all day.
Oh, I like double entry accounting, that kind of stuff. And
double entry accounting.
I mean,
it's just me pulling out a ledger, put on a pair of glasses. There's like an overhead, and you're just doing it.
Bunch of little kids.
Oh, he just put a number in the liabilities column.
Bunch of little kids with green eye visors. I'm so in for that. I'm 100% in for that.
Accounting bee. Yeah, that'd be great. Like this year, we've thrown a loop for them. They all have to balance the books for Enron.
Can't be done.
Bunch of kids are like,
I give up.
I quit. That would be,
Anderson Accounting was lying. This doesn't balance. This makes no sense.
This year's accounting bee sponsored by the fine folks at the Wells Fargo Fraud Department. It's a recruiting tool.
It was Anderson Accounting that literally the damage was so bad.
They went away.
Anderson got shut down.
Big 5 to the Big 4.
Yeah.
I knew some partners there then.
Oh, is that right?
Womp, womp.
Well, that had to suck for them, especially if they weren't on the Enron account.
They had nothing to do with Enron
Nothing to do with the lying division.
Nope. Well, I mean, they had nothing to do with that lying division. I'm not sure they're on the lying division.
Their own lying division. This is part of the problem.
That also was not an Anderson, and is not an Anderson problem. That isn't a
Oh, of course. But Anderson was the one who got busted.
I mean, can we?
And they needed to make a big warning for everybody else and say, "Don't do this, or we're going to shut you down."
That warning either didn't work or has been forgotten.
Yeah.
Have you met the fine friends over at FTX SPF?
Sure.
Yeah.
It was on half a piece of paper. He literally had all of the Alameda assets were on half of a piece of paper.
You don't need a whole sheet of paper.
You don't want to waste the space. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
That accounting was not double entry.
It wasn't even single entry. It was zero entry.
It was no
accounting.
entries, right?
No entry accounting. It's very efficient.
If you haven't seen it, look it up on YouTube. The spelling bee, the kid who spells sardoodledom.
Sardoodledom?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
It's the most charming clip you'll ever see.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's great.
Okay, I'm in.
And this is why you watch the spelling bee.
For that?
Yeah. This next one is Missy Cummings did a piece about why autonomous vehicles are so risky. Did you see this?
I did.
This was really impressive.
She's the Navy fighter
yes,
pilot?
Exactly. And she's now an engineering professor at Duke, or she was, and she left that to join the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration.
Yeah.
Bottom line of what she says, or at least the most interesting thing to me, was that L2 and L3 autonomous vehicles should not be on the road.
Yeah.
There's nothing safe about
which
these.
I've always felt that way. I feel like
Explain first what L2 and L3 are, just so people understand.
Yeah, so that's basically where you have to have a human needs to be able to take over control at any time.
At any moment.
What's fascinating, if you think about this, is like, so the AI is doing its thing. So I think this is really mainly in L3 especially, where it's doing its thing. And then at some point it can no longer do its thing.
Very, very bad choices ahead.
There's a flaming brick wall coming ahead, a school bus full of children, and then like a bunch, like an oil slick that leads into a shark pit, and it can't make a determination of which one. Yeah.
I think I've been to that intersection.
It's a 405 down by Inglewood. And it can't make a choice. So it's going to hand it off to the human who's, playing Wordle.
Who's not paying any attention.
Videos.
And suddenly they're supposed to, they're supposed to.
It's definitely not going to end well.
So what she says makes a whole lot of sense.
She also said in there, I think, that she does not believe you'll see L5 in her lifetime.
Well, you've got our L5 already in Chandler, Arizona. The Waymo company is running L5.
Well,
there's no driver in those cars.
She's saying in specific conditions, yes. In general conditions, no.
Well, I'm going to put a link to the most charming little YouTube channel about Waymo cars.
Yeah.
It's a kid who gets in cars and he films his Waymo journeys. And
that's awesome.
It's absolutely
That's
just
awesome.
delightful.
Driving around Chandler.
Well, now they've actually expanded the geofence so it can go for a bigger run.
That's great.
Do they run in San Francisco? I think some Waymo vehicles do run in San Francisco.
Yeah.
By the way, Waymos have gotten into accidents. It's not that they have never gotten into accidents. They have. You know about this?
No.
All of the accidents that Waymo cars have been into?
Human cause.
Rear-ended.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Like, how does that work, by the way? So you're in the Waymo car, or you're not. It's rear-ended, and the cop's like, I need to see your insurance. Well, do not compute.
A human actually does come on the speaker in the car from wherever they're running, their master control.
Is he really pissed off? Like, does he have like road rage?
No.
God damn it, why'd you run into me? It'd be great if he does. It's an angry AI.
He can't get out
On
of
your
the
phone,
car.
you fucking idiot. I got the video right here.
Well, they
down.
do. That's true.
I know.
They do
got
have the video.
Yeah.
They have the video from like 8 angles.
I mean, some dude got super aggro with me yesterday, cut me off in his Tesla for coming off a light, no good reason. And I'm like, dude, this doesn't end well. Like, if I hit you, I'm going to just tell the cops to look at the video in your fucking car of you cutting me off.
You have
like,
8 cameras filming at all times.
Exactly.
Okay, enough with the headlines. Up next, CJ is going to talk about the so-called TechLash. What in the world is that?
I don't know, but we're going to find out together. You know about this TechLash?
No, I don't know what this is. You mentioned that, and I don't know what that is.
It's a term that was coined by the fine folks at The Economist.
Okay.
And it was to describe the ostensibly rising hostility towards tech.
What hostility is there toward tech?
I think several flavors. There's the flavor that you and I have, which I think is congruent to taking like a baseball bat to a printer out of Office Space.
Oh my God, the greatest scene ever.
Well, yeah, and you've been there before, right? Where you just want to beat the shit out of the machine.
I haven't, because I have almost infinite patience to a fault.
Wow.
I will stay with something way beyond what any reasonable human would stay with it.
Literally because of you, I was trying to get Linux to work on another box at home to play with, and I have it connected to my old Cinema 30-inch display, and I couldn't get DVI dualing to work.
Right, DVI too.
And then I bitched to you about it, and you're like, well, I don't use any cables that are more than 10 years old.
I don't have any cables that old, so I don't know why that wouldn't.
Which was a very valid point.
Work.
I kind of, you ungrumpified me when you said that.
What you're trying to do is very, very hard.
I'm having a hard time getting this to work with my modem.
There's
my acoustic coupler. There are no drivers for my acoustic coupler for Linux, Jeff. Please fix that.
Oh my God, I'm so in.
Basically, what's the equivalent of that? This driver's only working at 1200 baud. My modem's capable of 2400 baud.
Here's the problem. Okay. Because Linux runs on so many different flavors of all types of hardware, very old hardware, the biggest, fastest supercomputers of the world are running Linux. Yeah. You expect there's going to be an ability to do anything with it. So, of course you would expect that.
But I would have to add a line to my xorg.conf, and I literally spent 2.5 hours fucking around.
Oh, you could have called me and I would have just said, let's just buy you a new cable.
Totally gave up. But it's a perfectly fine monitor. It's an Apple 30-inch cinema display that I want to continue to use. It's already positioned on my desk. But I don't think that's not what we're talking about here with this TechLash, right? This TechLash concept is people not trusting and being sort of grumpy towards, quote, big tech. Mm-hmm. I think that's where this comes from.
This has been the case throughout tech's history, its entire life.
Totally. Now, more so than ever, supposedly, people are getting more and more grumpy about tech at large. Mm-hmm. I was reading Eric Thornberg over on...
Because they're having to interface with more of it.
Yeah. Well, that's the theory. But I think the reality is most people actually aren't very grumpy at tech.
No, of course. So
that's why I'm like, well, where does this come from? And I stumbled upon Eric Thornberg.
Based upon the quantity of tech they interface with day to day, they're upset with very, very little of it.
Absolutely. Right. And you're interfacing with a lot more tech now than you were even 15 or 20 years ago. Trying to understand where this concept of TechLash came from. I came across Eric Thornberg over on Substack, and he describes TechLash as, quote, having always been an odd phenomenon because the average American actually really likes tech. Yeah. And if you ask the average American on the street about tech, they would tell you that they use things like Airbnb or DoorDash or Uber or Facebook or Amazon. Mm-hmm. And for the most part, they seem to like it.
Sure. Right? They use it. They wouldn't if they didn't. I tell my son, you can make a fortune if you can invent a piece of technology that makes it so that humans don't have to talk to other humans.
Sure.
Because that's what Uber is. That's what DoorDash is. All those things make it so that you don't have to interact with another human being.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think most people don't care about the intricacies of privacy law or the sagas of wrestling about things like the taxi cab medallion war against Uber or whatnot.
Unless you own a taxi cab medallion, then you care passionately about it.
A very small subset of people holding on to clutching their pearls.
The past.
Their
DVI dual cable.
You watch your mouth. But most people have used tech, I think, to improve their life, right? Like,
yeah, sure.
Whether it's DoorDash so that you don't have to spend 30 minutes going getting a pizza or coming back, or Instacart for Costco or whatever those services might be.
Also, I don't have to get on the phone and call someone and give them an order and they write it down wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what happens is
read it wrong.
I order my food and they get to have some of it on the way back.
It's true.
So
it's the tax.
There's always the tax.
Or something extra.
And there's always the DoorDash tax.
With the little section that says, who's it for? Just put DoorDash driver on there so he knows what his sandwich is.
I wish I could do that. Yeah. I would totally do that. I would let me know what you want to eat. Let me order a little extra so I get my entire order.
Do most of your DoorDash orders get eaten on the way here? Because mine don't.
A huge percentage.
Really?
Yeah, but I order from good restaurants. But the stuff you eat, no one's gonna want that.
The gruel that I get.
Yeah.
So digging in deeper on this and looking around into tech at large, there was a Gallup poll in 2017 that said the computer industry was a net 67% positive. Which
67%, two-thirds.
Net positive.
That seems really small.
Well, that seems really high to me.
Oh, I think it's way more than that. For me, the computer industry is a good, 99% positive.
Well, yeah, for you, but we're nerds.
Yeah.
So of course. Now, the way that positivity score is calculated is the positives minus the negatives.
Okay.
So it's not just positive. Yeah. It's positive minus the negative, right? And it was up there with other high net positivity companies, restaurant industry, farming, grocery, and then accounting was up there, which threw me for a loop.
Okay.
Some of the lowest, big surprise, oil and gas, pharma, federal government, minus 23%.
Wow. I would think oil and gas and pharma would be way higher than that.
No, because people have this distrust of big pharma. They think it's all just,
You're alive because mostly of big
exactly.
pharma.
That's kind of my point. There's I think that's another topic we should try to clean up at some point. But by 2022, tech had fallen, but the entire sentiment had fallen.
Yeah.
So out of 25 industries, the computer industry still ranks number 3 in terms of positivity, and it's ahead of almost everything else. The internet industry, quote unquote, is right in the middle of the pack. So tech is scoring somewhere between average and much, much better than average.
Yeah.
The most popular industry has been the restaurant industry, right? And
sure.
And it saw a drop from 65% to 45% from 17 to 22.
Well, we had a little COVID period there where you couldn't go to a restaurant.
I do have the second most popular industry. It's agriculture. It saw a drop from 58 to 43%. It seems like from 2017 to 2022, we just saw overall sentiment drop.
Yeah, maybe.
The computer industry or internet industry still both being pretty high. So that doesn't fit into why there would be this sentiment against tech.
Yeah.
Right? What is this? Where does this TechLash come from? And as of 2019, tech also fell super low on the list of industries that people want presidential candidates to criticize. So it doesn't seem like there's a lot of folks angry about tech. It's like, why did this TechLash thing happen? And one idea is that this TechLash is primarily a media phenomenon, as in like a group of people rallying against tech.
Who is rallying against tech?
So that was a good question. And that's where this sort of post took me. If you look at sort of when you started to see the negative sentiment media coming out, happens to coincide with the same time that Facebook's revenue started to overtake the global newspaper industry.
So that wasn't that long ago.
It was not that long ago, right? You're talking about less than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So Facebook revenue surpassed newspaper advertising in 2013. And that's kind of when we saw negative sentiment around tech begin. So the argument is that the media is going like, all right, well, fuck, if you're going to take all my revenue from me, I'm going to yell at you and make you guys the bad guy.
Sure. But less and less people are going to hear me because I'm printing on paper.
And they're over there.
Yeah.
The TechLash was framed as tech versus the people, but it was never really the people versus tech. It was really just a fight between media and tech, which I think is kind of interesting to think about that. It's got nothing to do with the people. It's just media fighting with tech.
Old school print media to me always seems like, what did you print out yestay's website for?
Exactly. Right.
We had that news already.
Exactly. But and you think about how much effort went into that, right? Like think about journalism at the New York Times 50 years ago.
Yeah.
They had to actually go out, find stories, write them, submit them to guys that were typesetters.
Yeah.
They'd have to lay them out, and then dudes would actually place the type and run them to print. Like that was a shit ton of work to get that news out. And all of that, literally 100% of that is gone.
Right.
So you could say that Silicon Valley tech folks could take the moral high ground against big bad corporations and folks that didn't do open source. And that strategy sort of worked from like mid 90s until 2011.
Yeah. What happened in 2011 that changed that?
A couple things happened in 11, right? You had Jobs who died, and then Obama's election in 2012. And other parts of the party started to look, Democratic Party started to look at tech not just as a ready source of money and talent, but also as a possible threat to them and everyone else. Tech was getting too big for their own britches.
Yeah.
So it's disrupting media as well, which, again, I'm not entirely sure I believe in that, but it is a story that sort of threads the needle of this.
I think politicians just wanted tech to give contributions to campaigns.
Well, yeah, but I think
that's the way they get it.
I think more than just money. I mean, right now, tech is purely heavy left. Right across the board.
Oh, that's not true.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's tons of people. Peter Thiel is from tech. I mean, there's tons of people who are
there's Peter Thiel, and then there's basically a giant gap, right? I mean, look at any of the tech companies, 95% of them give money to the left.
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Very
That's the giant gap. I literally describe him as a giant gap. That's what I meant. You call him Elon, I call him a giant gap. It's a little pet name I have for him.
No, I get it now.
I think that's why he looked glossed over me for the CEO job.
Makes perfect sense.
And now to you, Mr. Chairman, or as I like to call you, the giant gap. You can make the case that you've got tech pulling in a lot of talent out of government and out of media. Now, like, it's not necessarily as friendly as it used to be. And I do think that's the value, ultimately the value of tech, right? Tech could have been more of a democratization effort for us as the people.
It's going to get there. It's moving there. So. It's moving there slowly. But and the thing that's changed it is open source. And the thing that changed open source was the creation of Git. In like whatever 2008, suddenly it was easy to manage large open source projects.
Do you think? Okay, I agree
Git
with you.
Changed the world.
I agree with you. Certainly, Git changed it. What was a bigger influence on open source though? Git or our least favorite highlight here, RMS? I'd argue RMS made a bigger move.
I don't think RMS would have gone anywhere until you could actually have some way to organize all that code.
Standing on the shoulders of giants.
Linux would have, withered in its tracks had it not been for Git.
No, negative.
Yeah.
Linux did just fine pre-Git. Just fine.
Linux did okay pre-Git.
It wouldn't have withered in its tracks.
You'd have burned out Linus. He would have gone skin diving and said, forget all this. I'm tired of you people. I mean, literally, there were like 1 million contributors to Linux, something like that. It's the world's largest collaborative project.
Sure.
There's no way he could manage it minus. That's why he stopped to make Git, was to make his life easier managing Linux.
I'm not sure it would have died. I still think RMS was a bigger contributor to the open source movement than Git.
I don't know the answer to that.
At a minimum, you can argue that Git...
When he says RMS, he's talking about Richard Stallman.
Yes.
Let me just put that in there for anybody who's not following. There's a guy at MIT who basically created the free software movement.
Father of the free software movement, right?
Yeah.
Who's not Unix. At a minimum, I think we can
Not to be confused with the open source software movement, which is a slight variation off of the free software movement.
Yeah. RMS, I think probably one of the things that hurt RMS's message the most is that he was non-wavering. But arguably that non-wavering is what's kept that alive.
Yeah.
So now you have this coexistence of free software and open source.
Yeah.
Which is, I would argue, a good thing. Like, I think we ended up in a happy place in the timeline.
Sure.
But at a minimum, I think we can agree that
it's still the best compiler you can use. Oh my goodness. There's nothing that works at that level.
And by the way, it doesn't really need to get much better.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty much there.
Wonderful.
Yeah. But this is interesting. A total tangent of what we were talking about, but still fun. Git, GNU. What else would you say were the biggest sort of contributors to open source at large? You can argue Linux. I mean, let's say Linux.
You'd have no internet without Linux because you'd have to pay Microsoft fees for servers. You'd never have the internet as you have it now.
Yeah. Or Solaris or whatever decided to win.
Yeah, you'd have paid fees for Solaris as well.
Yeah.
And because you can just have Linux for free, that's why you have the free internet you have now.
Totally. Thinking about this TechLash, right, and where this comes from.
Yes.
Who supports it? Who doesn't? It really doesn't seem like the people that are using tech are really angry with tech. I think we're talking more about like a distrust, like when you have the Facebook Cambridge Analytica scandal, right? Where it's like,
well, that's pretty horrible.
Your data going out the back door.
Yeah.
But I still don't think there's a bunch of people revolting against tech. Like some people just stopped using Facebook. They said, that's just not my problem. I'm just not going to.
I don't use Facebook.
Like I don't get the value out of that to continue to pump anything into it.
Sure.
Totally appreciate that.
But I'm using plenty of other things that I'm sure that are, sucking down my data.
For sure.
That's not really my big issue. I just don't want to talk to my parents' friends.
On Facebook?
Yeah.
That's what Facebook's
passed me by.
A place for your parents' friends, basically. Yeah. There's this gap between what we're being told people feel about tech and their hatred for whatever, insert Facebook or Amazon or whatever the thing is.
Do you think people distrust Amazon?
Yeah. Well, shit, you're sitting across from one. I can tell you that now.
You don't trust Amazon?
I trust Amazon, the company. I think the problem is they haven't addressed their reviews.
Yeah.
Their review system is completely and utterly fucking broken.
Tell me why.
Well, you've got people in there that are paying for reviews constantly for shit product.
Okay.
And then I think that's probably my biggest complaint.
Can't you see through that?
It's
when
tough.
When you read the reviews, you don't see through it.
On some shit, it's really tough.
Yeah,
because I'll see something, I'm like, that's a shill.
They just feel like shills. They just read like shills.
But some are good enough that I'm like, this could be a human just writing a quick review for it.
Okay,
don't know. I really don't know. So I try to look for ones that are outliers that I think I go for sure this is real and try to bounce across those.
Right.
But like, why am I doing that? Why aren't they doing that? I shouldn't have to do this to figure out this product. So that's one. And the second is product spoilage. Product spoilage, I think, is a real problem in Amazon that still hasn't been addressed.
Explain about that. What you mean by that?
If you're a vendor and you have product you want to sell on Amazon, there are two ways they can store it.
Okay.
You can pay them some extra fee to store it in your own little box with your name on it. It says Jeff Parker's Trinkets.
Great.
And all your trinkets go into that box.
Fantastic.
Or for less money, they'll commingle it with other vendors.
Then you get into trouble. Then you have problems.
And that makes a lot of sense to me, because if you're sending in the widgets and I'm sending the widgets in the same widgets, it doesn't matter if they sell mine or yours, right? It's
to
the
them,
same
it
widget.
Doesn't matter. Correct.
Problem is, as soon as you have counterfeit product,
now you have quality control issues.
Now you got quality control issues. So now you could be a vendor who's making counterfeit widgets and dumping them into the box. I only buy the real ones, but when I go to sell it, they pull one out of the box. Could be mine, could be yours.
Right. When I buy something from Amazon, it's usually by brand name though, so it can't be. It's not a. What is this? What is an example of a widget that I would buy from Amazon that could be commingled with?
I don't know, network switch, anything. I mean,
but if I'm buying a network switch, I'm probably buying a specific brand and type.
But that shit gets knocked off. Even specific brands.
So I can't tell where it came from.
You can't tell where it came from. There's going to be enough margin for them to make sense to knock it off.
Yeah.
Right. But there are plenty of these. I've had friends that have put products on Amazon and gotten super pissed because their product gets knocked off.
I just think so many of the things that I'm buying from Amazon have brand names that I'm going specifically for that exact piece of equipment.
Sure. Well, and I mean, you got another problem too. I wouldn't say this is my biggest problem, but it is growing. People will buy the product, take the thing out of the box, put it back in, send it back as a return to Amazon. Shows back up in the queue. That's been happening. That's been happening a lot with GPUs. So I think this claim of folks being grumpy with tech seems to not exist as much. People seem to be pretty embracing of tech because it makes their lives better. So I don't think this TechLash is a real thing. It does seem like it's been created. I'm curious if it's created because the people promoting the stories are pissed off. They're choosing, they're getting their revenue all chewed up. It doesn't seem to be that easy to me.
Sure. Although, is The Economist getting their revenue? This is where this comes from, right? Is The Economist getting their revenue chewed up? I think if you go to The Economist, it's because you want to know what The Economist is telling you.
Yeah. Well, I think most of The Economist is through subs. I don't think they make nearly as much on ad revenue they do off subs.
Okay.
So that would tell me that they're out of that mix.
When was the last time you actually held a copy of The Economist in your hands? You have a paper copy. He's reaching down, everyone, and pulling up a paper copy. I don't think I've seen a paper copy of The Economist. Multiple paper copies of The Economist, different issues.
I just came off a flight.
Oh, I haven't seen a paper copy of The Economist in 8 years.
Could not have timed that better. You could have asked me for any other magazine that's not here.
And you wouldn't have had it.
Sure. Yeah. My end up takeaway from this bit of research around people's anger towards tech.
Yes. And by the way, because I don't subscribe to The Economist, apparently I just go to the online site version of The Economist.
Weirdo.
I didn't even know there was such a thing as TechLash.
Yeah, it's something coined a while ago.
If you go onto The Economist on the online site, they talk about how everybody loves tech.
Talk about PrintLash.
Oh, they're talking PrintLash. Exactly.
The two arms of The Economist, the online, have this joke going on back and forth. Like, people are really angry at print out there.
Exactly. Print is just ruining the world.
Angering or yelling at the ghost of Hearst, just constantly going up to his castle and just yelling at it. All right, up next, Jeff's going to talk about the dangers AI poses right now, today, here.
Max Miller recently published a piece in SlashGear that listed nightmare scenarios that could happen with the current generation AI. I thought it'd be interesting to walk through that list and see where we agree with Max and where we don't, and maybe even give some loose odds on those items actually being a problem. He talks about in the article, how AI has risen up quickly.
Sure.
And as a result, there are some things that we're facing that are, perhaps dangerous, perhaps not. He poses it, of course, in clickbait fashion, that these are dangers. He goes from deep fakes to stock market manipulation to international wars to dystopian surveillance states. And so here are...
Yes, and yes. Next
here are some of these are going to actually be correct. Nightmare scenarios that current generation AI could bring about, according to Max.
Hit me.
Deep fakes could lead to political misinformation.
Already happened. Next question.
Be specific. What do you mean?
We've had a couple of these, right?
Tell me some examples.
I mean, didn't we have one where there was it was Putin reading some statement or something that was completely faked?
Correct. I think most people knew that was fake, though.
I don't know.
Do you think there were people that were fooled?
Well, I would tell you I know there are people who are fooled, but what percentage? I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. And I think especially when you get to like audio, where it's a lot, arguably audio and text.
Yeah.
Like if you don't truly trust the source didn't do their work. It's just super easy for those things to get out.
I don't think text is an issue because people misprint things in text. It has nothing to do with AI. That's just somebody who's being malicious.
I'm just saying you can use AI to be more malicious.
You can do it with audio. You can do it with picture.
Absolutely. I mean, you are basically summarizing Morpheus in the Matrix. What is real, right? It's a bunch of stimulation that hits your eyes and turns into electrical signals to your brain.
Right. But I think most of us are good at being skeptical and saying,
oh man, I don't know. I think unfortunately most people would not. And especially for it fits their narrative. If the thing fits their narrative.
Oh, sure. When they show Joe Biden stuttering and stammering, and they want to believe that for some reason
look, he stutters and stammers. Look, you see it right here.
Because he's a stutterer. I mean, you know, and the AI can enhance that stammering and stuttering, of course. I don't think that most people. I mean, maybe if you're close to an election, that could be an issue because then you don't have time to check it out before you actually vote.
Man, I don't know. I think first of all, I would say that
I think it might work for really voters who are not particularly informed.
I think the majority of people, at least here, at least in the U.S., are not well informed and do not fact check. So it doesn't matter if you give them 6 months before the election.
Then
they
believe
vote? What they want to believe.
Then do they vote?
If it reinforces whatever their narrative or their belief is.
Because they want to believe it, so they just believe it.
Yeah. Isn't that easier? Isn't it easier if you go, well, I really like drinking half a bottle of vodka a day, and this article says it's going to make me live longer. So, yeah, I'm going to believe that, right? I mean, there was a quote. I really don't know how real this was.
I had never thought of that.
If you think of it that way, all of a sudden you want to go start drinking some more.
What's wrong with us that we're skeptical? Even if it's something that I believe, I'm really skeptical when I hear somebody say something that's out of character.
There could be a lot of things, right? How are you with authority? I'm not very good with authority. I like to question when people tell me shit and go, really?
But I think you should question everybody.
Of course. But maybe that's
authority
part of
or not authority. You should question everything.
Part of why I question everything. Yeah. Because I just go, well, you're probably in power not because you know the thing that you're talking about. You're in power for some other reason.
Because you could convince people that you were an expert in the thing, or you could convince people you need somehow to be in power.
Maybe even more so than that, maybe a natural curiosity of just knowing, of being like, I don't know if I believe that view. Let me dig a little deeper.
Right.
And what I found for the vast majority of
things.
And
the cost of doing a quick search on the internet is nothing.
No, it's not even cost, though. It's desire. Most people don't have the desire. It's not a money problem. It's not like somebody goes, oh, I mean, the
time cost is really what it meant.
Right. And sadly, I would argue that most people in the scenario have more time than anything else.
Sure.
Because they're not spending their time digging in deeper on that, right? So
don't you find joy in finding the truth?
Oh my God. Well, okay. First of all, I don't know if I've ever found the truth on anything. The curiosity, the desire to know the answer to me has always been very strong. So maybe that's why we're more skeptical. I also am a firm believer from this took me years to get there, empirically, in that keep it simple, stupid, right? Occam's razor.
Yeah.
Like in most cases, and I'd say in virtually all cases.
But no simpler than is absolutely.
Cases, that seems to be true.
Not like the state of Indiana trying to change pi to 3.20 because that's simpler.
The simplification.
I should put that link into the show notes because that's an amazing story.
Yeah. No, hey, but to be fair to Indiana and all our listeners, so we have a couple in Indiana.
Yeah.
Ohio changed it to just 3.
Is that true?
No.
Oh.
But got to be funny.
I totally believed you. I was like, oh my gosh, because 3.2 is equally ridiculous.
No, 3 is way more ridiculous.
You can't just change the number because it pleases you.
But I love Ohio trying to like out-dumb Indiana, being like, oh yeah, we're going to call it 3. Fuck you.
All right. So what do you think the odds of deepfakes leading to political misinformation?
I don't think you can give this odds. I think it's already happened.
I'm giving it odds.
Okay. I'm going to give it 100%.
Because it's already happened.
It's already happened.
And you think it's going to happen again in the future
100%.
repeatedly. Okay.
Yes. Well, it's happening right now.
And like I said, Max Miller is a genius.
On this one.
Deepfakes could lead to international conflict.
Yeah, man. I mean, that seems pretty deeply related to the last one.
Yes.
But yes, for sure.
The impact of AI in politics could be bad enough, but imagine if a rogue nation such as Russia were to create a fake video of Ukrainian President Zelensky in which he instructs his people to surrender.
Yeah.
And they believe it's him.
Yeah.
Do you think they would believe it's him? I can't imagine they would believe it's him.
In this particular example?
Yeah. Because
if you turn that particular hypothesis around, and if you had a video of, I don't know, of Putin saying we're calling off the dogs, come on home. Yeah. Or
because they already want to come home. Talk about reinforcing what they believe.
Totally. I think you have way too strong of a will in the Ukrainian people, and especially Zelensky's
his message has been 100% consistent.
He's spoken his actions and not his words. So in that particular one, I think people go, no.
Yeah.
Yes, I would say this
sowing conflict among the public and armed forces and lending legitimacy to wars and uprising.
See, that's the one that really starts to scare me, is if you can get into the channels, especially if the channels are, I'll use the word disorganized, like if you're using public channels for communication within the ranks. Yeah. Because where you get, especially when you get into rank and file, where you have to follow the directions, your orders, right? You have to follow your orders. So now if those orders are not even believed, if you think those orders are legitimate, your job is to follow them. It's like, how many movies have been made about?
Is that still true in the U.S.? I think soldiers
are goddamn sure. I think true.
Soldiers are required to evaluate the order and make sure they're not like unconstitutional. There's some, I don't know enough about the military.
I don't think that's the case. I think you've got 2 guys sitting in a bunker with a ICBM, and if they get through the channel the message to turn the key, they have to turn the fucking key.
Actually, I know this about nuclear war, nuclear weapons. There is a human in the chain. It's not when the president enters the code. All that happens.
Yes.
All that happens when the president enters the code is a message gets sent to a human being who then decides whether or not he's going to launch nuclear missiles.
It's one of many notifications on his phone. He's sitting there playing Wordle, and he's just like, President Biden wants to send a message. He's like, fucking put that to sleep. He's like, I'm so close.
I'll come back to this in half an hour.
Yeah.
What you're saying is we may not be far off from the first AI-inspired coup or war.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's already may have been part of what's happened. I don't know. But in the past 5 or 10 years, I would not be surprised if this was part of what was included in this.
In what war? In what case?
The first one I would look at is the one we're currently seeing unfold before our eyes, right? With Ukraine and Russia.
You think some AI misinformation has helped cause this conflict?
Oh, man. I mean, it hasn't helped dissuade it from what I can tell.
AI? Yeah. Specifically? In what way?
I mean,
I think this is Putin wants,
for sure.
He wants Ukraine.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean...
They had it and he wants it back.
Do you find it easier to believe that AI has or has not been used in this particular war?
I don't see any indication that AI has been used in this war one way or the other. I think it's just a madman, a murderous madman who wants territory.
That's the inspiration, of course.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean they haven't used it to misinform folks, right? Whether it's via social posts or whatever.
I have no proof of that. I have nothing.
No, I know we have no proof of it, but it seems pretty easy to believe that it has been used.
Easy enough to believe it hasn't.
Look at the number of bots. I just read an article last week that said 40%
of the internet
is, and I was like, my first blush was like, no, just no. Then I started thinking about it. I was like, but why not? Why couldn't it be? Because you have, if you think about it from a transaction perspective or bandwidth perspective, there's such a small amount that you and I do as humans compared to what we could do if we were a bot just running. And you're like, oh, fuck, this could totally be true.
Right.
And you wouldn't need to be installed on 10% of the population. You'd be installed on like 1% of the population. And these botnets are gigantic.
Right.
So it's like, I actually could buy this. I think this actually could be true.
You think we're not far off from the first AI-inspired coup or war? You think the odds of that are 100% it's already happened?
No, I'm not saying 100% it's already happened.
But you're saying 100% it will happen. Give it some odds. What do you think?
The statement is AI-inspired war? A war that's inspired by AI?
Deepfakes could lead to international conflict. Let's just take that. What do you think the odds of that having happened or will happen in the future?
Already has happened.
Okay, so you're at 100%.
Yeah. Man, it seems like if it hasn't happened, it's going to happen soon.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It seems like it's possible. I don't know. I think we're going to get better and better at being skeptical of seeing someone say something that would lead us to a war. And
as people or as technology?
Well, both.
Both? Okay.
Both, yeah.
I think you do have an arms race with the tech for sure to try to get better to detect it.
I think eventually as people, we're going to be much more skeptical about what we hear people say. And did they really say that?
So much more optimistic about people as a whole than I am.
I'm pretty optimistic about people.
I am not on this particular, not when it comes to technology.
It's a slow curve.
Yeah.
The bend to correctness is slow, but we do make the curve. We do slowly make the turn.
Yeah. Okay. Because I look at if people can't pass the fucking Nigerian spam test, they're not going to pass the deep fake test.
I think more and more people got better over time at knowing the Nigerian prince was not really a Nigerian prince.
You just insert different nouns, but the same thing keeps happening. People still posting. You see these phishing attempts where they'll try to masquerade as Jeff Parker.
Yeah, sure.
And you're the CEO, and it sends it to me, the person in HR, and says, I would like to change my bank account details from my payroll to here. Those people get trapped on that every day.
But your bank is going to get better at setting up systems so you're not actually on your bank.
Not when the operator goes in and says this person wants to pay to this account, and the banks aren't going to get any fucking better. It's 2023. They haven't got any better. They even match names on wires, which is crazy. They imply that they do, but they don't, which is nuts to me.
Like I said, the humans are going nowhere. This is a mess.
As I said earlier, we're all fucked.
As I said earlier.
I'm not sure what you heard, but what I'm saying.
No one's going to ever understand this. We're all screwed.
If anything, and this is, I really don't want to believe this, right? I don't even want to say this. This is how little I want to believe this. I think this will widen the divide between the people that know the difference and the people that don't. And that's the thing that scares me a little more. And that could be, I don't really want to believe this, but that could be around access too. If you haven't grown up in a place where you have this, then it makes it harder for you to know that it's a fake. So now
I think your kids are going to know more about what's fake and what's not fake
that's kind of the
than
hope.
Even you and I know.
You hope it's more generational, right? You hope that they get it and they just like, no, I've seen this movie before.
They're going to be used to it.
And that might be the answer. The problem is we're iterating so fast that it needs to be intragenerational.
Well, that's the problem. The humans don't iterate fast. Yes, that's correct. So you're you're rating this one at 100%.
I think this one's a lock.
Okay, last one. We've only got like 10 seconds left. Law enforcement could use AI to create a dystopian surveillance state.
Don't we already have a dystopian surveillance state without AI?
So yeah, it's already happening. I'm not sure what AI is going to do to enhance it. Anyway, we got to get out of here. But quickly, before we go, have you seen or read anything good this last week?
Oh, yes. The documentary, a couple years old from Apatow on George Carlin.
Oh, yeah. Judd Apatow. Yes.
Judd Apatow. Yeah, sorry. Yes. Yeah, no, this documentary on Carlin was incredible.
Yeah, it's great. I saw it.
Did not know about where he came from. Didn't know that he was part of a duo initially. Didn't know about his backstory with his wife and his daughter. Yeah. Kelly. And just how close they were. Like he was like this devoted family man.
Such a family man. You don't think of him as that, but he was such a devoted family man.
You see like his rebirth a couple of times and trying to figure out what
reinventing himself as a comedian in drastically different ways.
It's incredible.
I'm going to go with for mine, Crying Kershaw. Do you know about this?
No.
San Diego Padres had the Dodgers down there to have a game of baseball, and Clayton Kershaw pitched, and we ended up losing the game. I think it was 1-0. It was big nothing. And so they put up on their big screen TVs at the end a picture of Clayton Kershaw, looked kind of sad or whatever, and big cartoon tears shooting out of his eyes, which was kind of, Bush League, mean-spirited, pretty awful. The interesting thing about it, the Padres lost their next 5 games. They've angered the baseball gods.
Is that what the movie's about?
There's no movie.
Oh, what was? Oh, this is just a thing that happened.
This happened like a week ago.
You can tell how close I am to baseball. You know what? I'm not going to check that out. I'd rather watch paint dry.
Have you heard of the Savannah Bananas?
No.
Oh, this is baseball you're going to love.
Wait, Savannah Bananas?
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm super interested.
Oh, you're super
Give it to me in less than 3 sentences. What is it?
But basically, they have like all kinds of dances they do. When certain things happen, they all spin around in a certain...
Is this like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball, basically?
Oh, no, it's way more clever than that. It's really fun.
Really?
I'm going to send you a link.
They're called the Savannah Bananas?
Savannah Bananas. I'm going to put a YouTube link in the show notes here to talk about that. So I got to watch
kids driving Waymos and Savannah Bananas.
And you're going to enjoy both tremendously.
I bring nothing interesting to this show,
That's the episode.
Thank you for joining us for all this nonsense, a truly terrible podcast from The Awful Company. Visit us on the web at nonsense.productions or awfulco.com. I'm Stu Little.
I'm Jeff Parker.
If you like this program, please follow, download, subscribe, and like at Apple, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, or our favorite, Overcast, or wherever you get your podcast from.
Podcastindex.org. Special thanks to our floor director, Kara Jackson.
Thanks, Kara. We'll be here every Thursday morning for more nonsense. Join us. You know what? Turn this off. Turn on the AM radio. I'd let that one marinate for a little while.